So quick question, how many of you have seen the TV show series Narcos? Okay, so a majority of you know that's based on Pablo Escobar's life, and that's what I'll be talking to you guys today about. I'm gonna go over 3 points: his early life and family, his criminal activities, and the cause of his death. So to start off, he was born Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. He was born in Rio Negro, Colombia, on December 1st of 1949. His father was a farmer and his mother was a school teacher. He was the third oldest of 7 kids. In 1976, he married Maria Victoria Henao, which they had Manuela and Juan Pablo Escobar. At that time, she was 15 years old and he was 27 years old. Her family really didn't approve of their marriage due to the age difference, and due to that, he kind of had this feeling like he had to prove them wrong to make sure that they accepted him into the family. And for that, leads to my next point, which is his criminal activities. He started really young. He would steal gravestones and he would sand them and sell them. And then he would also sell fake lottery tickets. He would steal cars, sell contraband cigarettes, and kidnap people. From there, he started to enter the drug trade, which took place around 1970s. He developed the cocaine business in 1975. He would smuggle the cocaine in old planes. He would also put them in like merchandise, like potatoes, or just like any other like electronics and stuff, where they wouldn't be quite visible. It also said that he is responsible for killing a Colombian presidential nominee, justice minister, and more than 200 judges and over 1,000 police officers. This man was very, very rich, to the point where he spent $2,500 on rubber bands just to hold his money. For many people, he was considered the Robin Hood of their generation, I suppose. For poor people, he spent millions on schools, football stadiums, hospitals, and churches. He even has a neighborhood named after him that still to this day exists. He was so rich that he built La Catedral, a jail that housed a casino, nightclub, and even a spa. Even a spa. He killed 2 cartel members while being in the jail. Due to that, the officials decided to move him to a more strict prison, but he was afraid of extradition to the United States, so before they could do that, he fled. It was about 16 months before they could finally find him, and for that leads to my other point, to his death, which the people that went in search of him were the search block, which were a Colombian task force made of Colombian National Police trained by the United States. After escaping La Catedral, it was a very, it was a very violent moment during that time. He tried to keep everything on the low, but everything just seemed to like become even more and more violent with him like not being in charge anymore. But he would always say, one of his famous quotes would be, "I would rather have a grave in Colombia than a jail cell in the U.S." He was, he was, by his time when the search block found him, he was in a neighborhood called Los Olivos. He was on a phone call with his son when he somehow felt like the call was being intercepted, which he was then right, because then there was a knock on one of the doors that, there was a knock on the door on the houses that he was at, and he was trying to flee through the rooftops. And when he tried to do that, they eventually shot him. But many say that it's rumored that he actually committed suicide before they were able to shoot him, because, like I told you in his quote, he would rather die in Colombia than ever go into a jail in the United States. And so that goes through my 3 points, his early life on how and who he was, his family, and his background. My second point was all his criminal activities, the people he killed. He kidnapped many people also. And then my final point, which is his death, which he was shot, but many say that he committed suicide during that time. And so that's my speech on Pablo Escobar.